A night that should have been an intimate moment between husband and wife. The wife showed no expression, her eyes empty and distant, and he was distracted, still thinking about another woman. You'd never guess that all of this started with a fatal fall from a cliff. Police initially ruled it an accidental slip, and he was the lead investigator on the case. When the victim's wife arrived at the scene, he was surprised to find she remained eerily calm, not even shedding a single tear. That immediately raised his suspicions, but she had an alibi. At the time of the incident, she was caring for an elderly man who lived alone. Later, surveillance footage and witness statements confirmed beyond doubt that she really was at the old man's house when it happened. Yet as the investigation deepened, Hae-jun uncovered several suspicious details. The woman had suffered long-term domestic abuse, and hidden on her body were faint markings, familiar initials, exactly matching the first letters of the victim's name. Back at the crime scene, all of the victim's personal belongings also bore those same initials, suggesting the deceased had an extreme possessive streak. This discovery indirectly confirmed that Seo-rae had a clear motive. He began secretly surveilling her. During wiretaps and stakeouts, he gradually became drawn to Seo-rae's mysterious restraint and undeniable allure. One day during surveillance, his colleague received new information. Traces of someone else's skin tissue were found under the victim's fingernails. DNA analysis confirmed it belonged to Seo-rae. Instantly, suspicion around her intensified. Under normal circumstances, unless there'd been a violent physical struggle, there'd be no way for someone else's DNA to end up under the victim's nails. Seo-rae explained calmly. Her husband had abused her for years. They frequently fought physically, so it wasn't unusual for her DNA to be under his nails. Logically, it made sense, but it didn't ease Hae-jun's doubts. Seeing his hesitation, Seo-rae stood up and lifted her skirt without warning to show the detective the bruises on her thighs. Hae-jun felt awkward and called for a female officer to examine her, but to his surprise, Seo-rae casually said it was fine. Hae-jun held up his phone from a distance, yet she gestured for him to come closer. In that brief tug-of-war of glances and gestures, his heart started pounding uncontrollably. At lunchtime, he invited Seo-rae to stay and eat with him, even paid out of pocket for a deluxe sushi set. His colleagues were stunned, because he was famously frugal, always sticking to cheap work meals. They sat across from each other in the interrogation room, not exchanging a single word, yet the atmosphere felt more intimate than any sweet talk ever could. After finishing their sushi, they both tidied up the table together. Hae-jun wiped his hands with a tissue, and Seo-rae naturally took it from him. Once everything was cleaned up, she tossed the tissue away casually. Though they'd only met a few times, they moved in perfect sync. After the meal, Hae-jun handed her his personal toiletries and thoughtfully included a waterproof bandage so she could freshen up in the restroom. Inside the bathroom, after brushing her teeth, she sprayed perfume onto a brand new bandage. That scent became yet another silent, deadly lure. When she returned to the interrogation room, Hae-jun instantly noticed she'd put her wedding ring back on. That stark contrast completely unraveled his composure. Still, he didn't abandon his professional duty. He kept a close watch on every move Seo-rae made, but days of surveillance yielded nothing concrete, only growing sympathy for her. Sometimes he even started imagining what it would be like to live beside her, to be with her, unaware that while he was lost in this tender fantasy, a meticulously laid trap was already closing in around him.